Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Ebony allegedly humiliated Oletik, breaks toy car gift in front of her after a bitter fallout over her son's birthday. They said the palace, was on fire again. And this time the flames were really hot. Okay, to ignore. The latest scandal is nothing short of disgraceful, humiliating, and explosive. Ebony has openly disgraced Oletik, humiliated her in front of everyone and reduced her to tears after Oletik made what many are now calling the most foolish and hypocritical move of her life. Let's break this down. We've all heard what has been happening. Ebony's son just clocked 1 year. It was a huge celebration. The palace wives gathered, friends of Ebony showed up, the family came through, and even, the monarch himself marked it with his royal blessing. Everyone was there to rejoice with Ebony and her child, except one person, Oletik. She was not there. Now, this is the same Oletik who, lives like just a few doors away inside the palace. She locked herself inside her apartment on that day, sulking, frowning, and pretending as if she had no business with Ebony or the child. People knocked on her door. She refused to open. Everyone knew she was inside, but she kept herself hidden. Why? Because, the great lion had scolded her earlier, blasted her for her selfish, sadistic attitude, and she decided to play the victim. But here is where the insult got deeper. After the event was over, after the boy's birthday, and already everyone had celebrated with the boy without her presence, Oletik suddenly appeared at Ebony's doorstep days later, carrying a toy car gift for the same boy whose celebration she ignored. When Ebony opened the door, instead of seeing humility, she met arrogance. Oletik tried to play it smart, told Ebony that she wasn't around on the day of the party, that she was sick, that she wasn't feeling fine, but everybody knew the truth. She was inside her apartment. Now, if you look at some of those party, clips, and for those who were there, it's not as if all the Oloris were there. Everybody was present. No, that is not it. Those who were not there had called. Those who could not, they sent gifts and all of that. And that is a culture. The thing is that it's not a big deal if somebody doesn't want to wish you a happy birthday or anything. But they have a culture in the palace. As long as it has to do with those princes, they don't joke, or the princesses, you have to be a part of it, okay? The truth, from what we are hearing, they say Oletik did not call. She showed no concern. It was not her business whatsoever. At all, it was not her business. Now, she now came and she was claiming that she was not around and all of that. And let's not forget that the great lion had even told her that if you even had sense, okay, if you even had sense, you would have known that no matter the problem I'm having with the mother, that boy is my blood. You would have celebrated my blood with me. When you came back with your twins, I celebrated with you. Everyone in this palace celebrated with you, even those who were not particularly happy with you. I knew they were not particularly happy with you. Because of me, they came out and celebrated with you. Even those you made very upset with your sadistic attitude and everything, they celebrated. They came out for my sake to celebrate. Have you seen how you think only about yourself? They said those words, okay, cut deep, and Oletik felt the sting, but instead of truly repenting, instead of owning her mistake, she tried to cover her shame with a cheap move, buying a toy car. And they said when Ebony saw her standing there, pretending to be generous, pretending to be caring, after humiliating her and calling her names in the past, Ebony exploded. In fact, she exploded. They said a gift. She smashed the gift on the ground. Oh, that is what we are hearing. If the information is correct, they said she smashed the gift on the ground. Like she smashed the gift on the ground. The car gift, she smashed it and asked her to move. There are some things that are very, very annoying. You live in a community. Yes, it is true that, there may be differences and all of that. Sometimes for peace to reign and for us to even have our own internal peace, you just let some things slide. It's a child's birthday and it's your husband's birthday. You knew what you were getting into. Before that marriage, in this video, where she was saying people just get married for the sake of the fact that they want to get married because their friends are getting married. You need to be married because you're this, you're that. You know, these days, everyone becomes a marriage counselor and all of that on social media. But right now, when it's time, they begin to see how difficult it is. I am not undermining the situation in that palace. So the situation is not easy. For you to be married and you don't get to see your husband when you want. You almost like book appointment to meet with your husband. Your husband calls you anytime he wants to see you. It might take some of them up to 3 weeks. Okay, that is a situation that is not okay. But you know, at the very beginning, they may not have known that things would be like that. But what were you expecting? 6 is a lot. 6 is a lot. Let us say that it's one person is keeping company this week. We'll be talking about, 6 weeks before you will go and see your husband. And that's not funny. Yes, they said the humiliation was total. Oletik stood frozen, embarrassed, her eyes, swelling with tears as Ebony screamed and ordered her out. But you do all understand that Ebony is going through her own frustration. It's not as if she's even, when you see people that are having issues, sometimes you might likely want to act as if you're better. The thing is, a lot of people are asking that is she better? Is she better? But because Oletik made that mistake, because it was a mistake from her own part. This is not just about Ebony. Or is it that she has her own personal problems with Ebony? Right now, nobody's looking at the fact that she may have her own personal problems with Ebony. But when you're somebody who is fond of doing certain things, when something like this happens, nobody cares to ask whether you're having problems with that person. If maybe there was an encounter that didn't, wasn't public and all of that, they feel that is your attitude. They blame you automatically for it. And that's exactly what is happening to Ebony. I mean, Oletik, they have blamed Oletik so much. How could you make such a mistake? Because the way that Kabiyesi ran her down, it was not small. And then again, she carried herself immediately, went to Ebony, who in fact just finished her there. It wasn't a small thing at all. It's a whole lot of wahala going on. Everybody's just having their own fair share of struggles in that palace. And from the outside, you see, when you see the way they celebrate and all of that, do not look at things from the surface level, because people tend to go through their own struggles on daily basis. And even the rich also cry. Yes, so this is what we are hearing. If the information is correct, I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.